I'm Dennis Grady, CEO of the Chamber of Commerce of the Palm Beaches. Over the next few years, there will be roughly 5,000 elected offices that will appear on voter ballots all across Florida. With 405 cities, 67 counties, it's important that individuals who have an interest in running for office at the local or state level have resources to learn more about what it takes to get elected. After all, having better candidates that understand the challenges a business may face in meeting payroll or the regulatory burdens government can sometimes add to job creation and economic development is very important to all of us here. About a year ago, local CEOs from chambers throughout Florida met with Mark Wilson and asked him to take to his board of directors a proposal to develop an institute to help recruit, train, and develop potential elected and appointed officials throughout Florida. Mark accepted the challenge, took it to his board of directors. They unanimously adopted his recommendation and incorporated that proposal into their strategic plan. The purpose and goal will be to find men and women throughout Florida who believe in 6 pillars, the free enterprise system, and expose them in developing as candidates and political supporters to Marion Johnson, David Hart, Dr. Jerry Parrish, and Mark Wilson. This will be a united effort between local and the state chamber. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Rick Asnani, who serves as the Executive Director of the Florida Institute for Political Leadership, a nonpartisan initiative by the Florida Chamber of Commerce to recruit and train candidates across the state who want to be appointed or run for elective office. Rick?
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here today with all of you and to be able to bring some really exciting news that we're sharing today. You've heard a lot about the different initiatives that are being proposed, and I'm really excited to share this information about this new initiative that the Chamber is launching. Mark and the Chamber leadership wanted today to be the first day this institute was presented to you as the leaders in this community. So up until today, this is the first announcement we're making about this new initiative. So what I wanted to share with you today is about one thing that I want to make sure this is clear about. This is about sharing opportunity about leadership with leaders in this community and how we can develop that. So I want you to put politics aside for a minute, even though that's part of what the Institute's name is, and let's talk about what leadership is really about. In our state, we've got 4,502 positions that are up for office where somebody has to vote for them throughout the entire series of 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And in the next 5 years, a majority of these will be changed over in some capacity and somewhere in the state of Florida. However, what's interesting about that is that 96% of these races do not involve the legislature or the governor's office. They involve offices that are within your geographic boundaries. They're down to home at the local level with your mayors, your council leaders, your judges, your property appraisers, and people that are making decisions at the local level about what is happening with policies. So what we're doing today is we're bringing an opportunity for policies to intersect with politics to be able to bring you a brand new institute that has never been done before anywhere in the country. Why is it important? Well, the bottom line is we've spent the entire afternoon today and part of tomorrow talking about policies. Regulations that maybe intentionally or unintentionally could affect our ability to be able to focus on our taxes, our infrastructure, our ability to have regulations with what we're doing in our different industries. And if we're going to be able to achieve the 6 pillars around the state of Florida, we've got to be able to make sure that we are electing good people that are the decision makers. However, that's not necessarily happening not only in Florida, but anywhere in this country right now. But in Florida specifically, we've got term limits that change a lot. So very often, people aren't necessarily worried about the policies, but the politics. How many times have you at least seen one person say, I just got in, I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to be doing next? So with term limits and the revolving door that's occurring, we've got to make sure we have some consistency of people that are able to continue to step up in those leadership roles. You know, if you had 10 people lined up here on this podium and you asked each of them, do you care about your community? Take a step up. They would. If you said, are you a leader who's willing to work in your community to make a difference? Do you take a step up? They would. If you asked them if you would be willing to take a next step in running for office, they'd look like basically they're about to tumble over the entire podium like I'm about to. What they instead would do is they would take a step back. And so what you'd be left with is the people that are willing to possibly take on that challenge, but not necessarily interested in that. Why is that? Well, here's why. The Pew Institute did a study recently in which they asked people, who do you trust? At the top of the ticket, it was the military, people that are in religious leadership positions. Going further down, it started with people that are in public service offices, our firefighters, our police, our teachers. But guess where the politicians and the people that are elected to office ranked? At the very bottom. And the bottom line is they were down there. And then they asked a second question. They said, what do you think is the top issue that you care about? And today, being in this forum, we're all talking about economic issues. We're talking about the environment, immigration, and we're talking about a variety of issues. But guess what? None of the issues that we've talked about today or may talk about throughout this entire conference ranked as high as the #1 issue that people said it was. 1 out of 3 people said it was government and poor leadership that they were most worried about and thought that was the biggest problem that we had in this country. 1 out of 3 ranked government and leadership problems as higher than any other policy initiative that they were asked about, all the way down to education, economy, healthcare, or any other topic you can imagine. We've got to change all that. So today I'm here to introduce to you, the first time ever, the Florida Institute for Political Leadership. And here's the great news about it. It's focused on being about nonpartisan. This is not about trying to sit there and use the framework of partisan politics to begin to shape policies, but about good leadership and an opportunity to be able to expand the people that are interested in serving and focusing on what the issues are that make our Florida the successes that it needs to be. A majority of the work we're going to be doing is focused on local and county-based initiatives. It's not focused on the opportunities at the state level or trying to look at just next year. And we are not here to sell you anything. We are not here to basically try to sit there and convince you to focus on what the next service is going to be that we can sell you on. As a matter of fact, it's free. But we are here to say, if you're interested, we want to recruit, we want to guide, we want to train, and we want to partner with an ability to talk about the issues that are affecting Florida and how you can be a part of that change and part of that future success. So our leadership program over the last 12 months has been evolving and developing to where we are today, and today starts our launch in this process. We've put together 3 major initiatives that are going to be part of our program. One is the ability to talk to people about leadership and getting involved. And you know what? There's a lot of people we're going to talk to who may never run for office, but if they choose to join a board and become an appointed leader, if they choose to become a part of the nonprofit community, or they choose to just spend an extra hour that they were not planning to after they've come through our program to serve their community, we will all be better off. But if they take that extra step beyond that, and they begin to think about running for public office, but they're not sure they're ready to do it just yet, we've got time. We're going to give you 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Build your resume. Work on your board appointments. Work on the opportunities to understand what the policies and issues are until you're ready, and then begin to serve. These positions we have coming up, these 4,502 of them, some of them are not going to be available tomorrow. As a matter of fact, our focus really isn't about the 2020 election. Our focus is the people in 2020 that are going to run in 2021, 2022, and 2025. Looking forward towards being able to find the opportunity to build those relationships over a period of time. We've worked in the last 12 months to put together 18 customized training modules that we're going to be able to provide across the state. But the benefit of these modules are, we're not asking you to come to us, we'll come to you. We're going to work with each of you as our local chamber leaders to take the leadership role in being part of the partnership, to be able to offer these programs and to work with economic development and business groups and others that are in the state that are interested in being a part of this effort to being able to provide these services to people in the community. In addition, we've also done something really cool that I'm really excited about. What we've taken an effort to do is we've looked at every single seat coming up in all the counties and where seats are going to open up, where they're going to be, just by the very nature of attrition, things that are going to change in local offices for mayors and city council members and others. And we've identified where today's city council member may be sitting in the same seat that tomorrow's state representative may sit in, where tomorrow's state representative may be sitting in a seat that a future congressional office may open in. And what we're hoping to do is we're beginning to schedule the opportunity to get out there and work early on for leaders that today may run for a city council, but tomorrow may become our next major political designee for an office in the House and the Senate or in other parts. So the exciting part about this is it's going to be very timed and focused on how we can begin to look at seats that are opening up rather than pursuing the idea that it's about targeting a specific area or a specific community. We're looking for opportunities to be able to grow new leadership in places that are already open. Lastly, I think that one of the things that makes this institute very different from anything else I've ever seen anywhere in the country is most political training institutes are driven to be around one day at best. They come in, they try to usually tell you how to run your campaign. Sometimes they tell you what the issues are, but then they're done. Our effort in this program is designed around two things: being able to be a continuous and steady part of this process as we're going through the state's leadership roles. But more importantly, we have an entire dedicated portion of component tied to our issue training, beginning to focus early on when people are running about the policies that secure Florida's future, and being able to be a resource. We have got an incredible amount of data that you're hearing up here today. We've got to get this information out to the people that are making decisions about your lives and our future. And I don't think that most of those people know this, by the way. I think they'd like to know it, and I think they should know it, but they don't. So our goal here is to take this information and begin to bring it to the people that are not only running for office, but also the people that are in office, so they can sit there and have the opportunity to have a continued opportunity for resources and information as they move forward. So one of the things that I want to share with you about the Florida Institute for Political Leadership is that we today, as of this morning, have a brand new website. I encourage each of you to get an opportunity to go look at it and get a chance to check it out. It shares a lot more about the details of what we're doing and what we're about. One thing I want to emphasize is that it is nonpartisan. It is open to everyone. It is designed to be in a place where we welcome anybody who's interested in talking about improving Florida's future and our successes. And the other thing, too, as well, is I want to say thank you to Mark and to the Chamber leadership, not only for taking the initiative that they did to bring this up, but for bringing it here today and for the effort that they've made to make an effort into this. This is one of the Chamber's big initiatives that they've put together. It's a tremendous opportunity for us to begin to shape things and change things. So I'll share my personal story. I've been in politics for 25 years. It's the only thing I've ever done. I grew up in Florida. I went to Washington, D.C. for a while, traveled all around the state and all around the country, rather, the 37 states. And when I left Washington, D.C., I had an endless amount of opportunities about where I could go. But I chose that Florida was my home and where I wanted to make a difference. And I set 3 goals. My first was I wanted to make a difference in the state of Florida. The second was I wanted to build the dream team of politics in Florida. And the third was I wanted to revolutionize politics in Florida. Big, audacious goals. I think a lot of you kind of see those things sometimes in the chamber, what they try to do. I will tell you what, we're going to start today to make those 3 goals a reality. And I truly believe that this institute can do that in helping us. And I hope that you will partner with us when we do all this together to make the difference that we need for success in Florida's future. Thank you very much.